the Western Mustangs have put up staggering numbers during their remarkable U Sports football season. They are undefeated at 1-1-0. They led the country with an average of 48.3 points per game. They have outscored the opposition by a whopping 2-2-2-4-7 in the playoffs. The only thing standing in the way of their perfect season are the reigning Vanier Cup champions from Laval. Story continues below advertisement. I know we've got a good football team, but am realistic enough to know that this is going to be our biggest challenge by far, Mustangs coach Greg Marshall said Thursday at a news conference. The top-ranked Rouge Et or 10-1, and no. 2 Mustangs will meet Saturday at Tim Hortons Field in a matchup of the two most decorated programs in Canadian university football history. Western is looking for its 7th Vanier Cup title and first since 1994. The Rouge Et or are looking for their 10th national crown. Something will have to give when Laval's top-ranked defense, 9.6 points allowed per game, meets Western top-ranked defense, 608.5 yards per game. The Mustangs will likely get a boost from the busloads of supporters set to make the 90-minute drive from nearby London, Ontario. Western started its playoff destruction with a 6-6-1-2 rout of Guelph, followed by a 7-5-3-2 victory over Laurier in the Yates Cup. The Mustangs then went to Acadia to crush the Examen 8-1-3 in the UTEC Bowl. Laval, meanwhile, has been challenged at times throughout its post-season run. The Rouge Et or dumped Sherbrooke 4-5-0 in the Quebec Conference semifinal before pulling out a tight 2-5-2-2 win over Montreal. Laval had a so-so first half in last week's Mitchell Bowl before topping Calgary 3-5-2-3. Story continues below advertisement. Story continues below advertisement. When you're involved in games that are decided at the very end, you gain the experience of adversity, and that's definitely not negligible, said Laval coach Glenn Constantin. I like having experienced that kind of adversity during our playoff run. Laval is 2-0 in head-to-head matchups with Western. The Rouge Et or edged the Mustangs 1-3-1-1 in the 2010 UTEC Bowl, 2 years after Laval's 4-4-2-1 victory over the Mustangs at the Vanier Cup. Constantin, in his 17th year as Laval head coach, holds the U Sports record with 8 Vanier Cup titles. Marshall is looking for his first national title in his 18th season, 11th at Western, as a university head coach. We're expecting a hard-fought game. They're going to be the most complete team we've faced all year, Marshall said. There are no holes in their armor. Quarterback Hugo Richard, a 2-time Conference Player of the Year, is coming off a Mitchell Bowl MVP performance. The Laval defense, meanwhile, is anchored by All-Stars Matthew Betts, defensive end, tackle Vincent Desjardins, linebacker Adam Auclair and defensive back Gabriel Ouellet. Story continues below advertisement. Western boasts an impressive rushing attack led by Cedric Joseph, who ran for 100 yards last week. The Mustangs led the nation with 309.9 rushing yards per game in the regular season. Quarterback Chris Merchant is in his second year with Western after transferring from the University of Buffalo.